Everything's been a learning curve. I mean, the last 3 years have been really good for me. I think, I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, different sponsorships, different organizations I'm working with, different coaching. So now I'm with Quicksilver now, working with Jake Patterson and traveling with Leo and Kanoa. It's great, and it's been a long ride, but I think it's worked out, and I wouldn't want it to happen any other way. Sunset was a crucial event, losing first heat at Haleiwa, where I could have definitely just shut it out there, but that quarterfinal heat was supposed to be the heat that if I made it, I would have jumped into that top 10 slot, and I did. But with the calculations and how many guys were making heats that day, and so close to qualification, it kept shuffling as guys were making heats. So I was the first heat of that round, so they had said I made it, but I think there's like 4 or 5 more guys that were in qualification that surfed after me that had actually made it. So I just had to get 3rd place in that heat, and ended up getting 4th, and Jack Freestone got 3rd, and he had qualified. Ended up coming down the pipe with my career basically in Kanoa's hands.
It was almost like a joke, we kind of joked about it before even Sunset and Haleiwa happened. Like, imagine if Zeke's 1 spot out and Kanoa's the guy that's got to get him in, and we fully joked about it 3 times, and then the fact that it happened was pretty crazy. But everyone would come to the house just to watch my heat, just a bunch of guys that would probably normally not come and stuff, and the guys are being so cool to me, but in the back of their head, they know I gotta perform. And I remember Zeke was kind of just this is a pretty important night, but he was just kind of trying to keep calm, and he didn't want to talk to me, but he didn't want to not be there, but he did want to be there.
I was watching from the couch, and I was just like, wow, the kid got 2 back-to-back waves right after each other. I was like, wow, this kid's gonna make this heat.
It started sinking in, wow, you're in the quarters, this is serious. You're 1 heat away from making things happen right now.
So then when the man-on-man Jordan heat came, I was like, I'll just go sit right back on the couch, the same spot. It's perfect because all the cameras are outside. I was like, I don't want to be watching the heat with them all right there.
In my head, I'm like, you know what, I do have this, I got this. But then I can see in people's eyes oh, he's got Jordy, that's not gonna happen. Ross Williams was yeah, he's got Jordy, yeah, it's pretty unlikely, but that'd be pretty sick if it happens. And it's you know what? Sick, I'm glad I heard that. I went out there with my game plan, and I didn't back down to Jordy on the first exchange, and I pushed him deep, and everything was going to plan, and I waited for my wave, and it came in, the perfect angle of the wave I was looking for, and I just gave it the biggest pump I had, and I was on the foam ball, things sucked me down, it did the whole just wave split thing, the water disappeared from under me, and then it got all clear, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm still so deep. And I was just pumping, come on! Seriously, I might have been screaming in the barrel. I was just I'm in the hard part, just let me out, please. And literally, I looked straight at the house, and I just saw Zeke, I can just see Zeke claiming it.
And I don't know if I fell asleep or I blacked out or something happened. The next thing I know, I was jumping up and cheering and running outside. I blanked out for a second. I didn't even remember watching the wave live. And they ran out the score, and I was tripping. I just started shaking. I couldn't control my breathing or any of my emotions. I was just about to cry. And then the horn rang, and it was just I just wanted to just drop to the ground. The fact that he was so stoked for me, he was looking at me, pointing, I was just tripping out. I was talking to him, he was like, would you have really done it if you weren't in this situation? And he just goes, I don't know.
A moment I'll never forget, and it was just such an emotional thing, and everyone was so happy, and thinking about it just gives me chicken skin now, but it was just a special day that I'm sure a lot of people won't forget, and I won't forget for sure.
Put on the best performance of his life and on the biggest stage, and it was awesome to see him do good, and I'm just glad I got the benefit from it.